just going to lower this a little bit because height is not my best characteristic. It's not really helping me. So thank you, Bly, for the introduction. Good afternoon, faculty, honorable guests, and my fellow students. My name is Fatin, and I am a first-year student at the Sophie Davis School for Biomedical Education. About a year ago, around this time, I was scrambling around trying to figure out my priorities. I had a lot on my plate, as many of you who've been through the college application process at Stuyvesant know all too well. You know, between maintaining my senior year grades, meeting with my college counselors, writing my college essays, and running up and down the broken escalators in the new building, broken escalators all the time, I hardly had time to think about anything other than how my entire life had led up to those few months, and how the rest of my life would depend upon them. Now, college essays, they do something funny to people. They make us question ourselves and challenge us to figure out if we really know what we want. You know, when would you ever ask yourself a question like, what do you hope to find over the rainbow? That was a question on last year's application for the University of North Carolina, by the way. For me, college essays brought me back to my past, my upbringing, and all the experiences that led me to being where I am today. My journey started when my mom, my two brothers, and I flew across the Atlantic in search of higher educational opportunities. We left behind a life of luxury and settled into, or rather squeezed into, a tiny studio apartment in East Elmhurst, Queens. My mom used to be a teacher back in Bangladesh, and so she would prioritize education over everything else. And my brothers and I, we grew up without, you know, the latest video games, the big name brand clothes, or even our own rooms. But looking back at those times, I think they really were a blessing for me. Even though I would not admit to them, you know, straight up, the bonds we share are unbreakable, and they serve as the foundation for all my inspiration today. And whenever I find myself struggling, or if I start to lose hope, I just look back towards my family and remember that everything I do is backed by a whole lot of love and support from them. Now, that being said, money was always a problem for us, for any immigrant family. That's just how it is. And there was no denying it. We all knew that no matter how much fun we had, at the end of the day, we would have to basically limit ourselves so that we would not, affect the money we would have to pay for rent at the end of the month. And when my older brother went to NYU for college, because we know NYU loves to charge like $70K a year, you know, and when my dad's insurance wouldn't pay for his laparoscopic surgery, things got tougher for everyone. And I began to worry. I began to worry genuinely about my future and my college expenses and the burden that would put on my parents. I applied to Sophie Davis because the mission of the school is to help families like mine enjoy a better standard of healthcare and life. I applied because I want to make a difference in the lives of the financially disadvantaged and revamp the healthcare system to make universal coverage more of a reality. In my few months at Sophie Davis, I've learned a lot about how the underprivileged often don't receive the same quality of healthcare as the more wealthy. And I strongly believe that healthcare is a right and not a privilege. And as a future physician, I'll do my very best to make sure to close that gap in the quality of service. Now, the Stuyvesant-CCNY scholarship is an extremely generous and helpful contribution to my financial situation here at Sophie. I'm proud to represent Stuyvesant here at CCNY, and I'm extremely grateful for the scholarship. And on behalf of all the recipients, I'd like to thank all of you donors from the bottom of my heart. So thank you. I like to view the scholarship as more of an investment in the lives of those that we will be able to help in our future, as future physicians, as future engineers, as future politicians, and all the other bright futures we have coming up. And we all have really big dreams, and the aid that we are receiving from you today will go a long way in helping us build our careers in years to come. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, today is the oldest you've ever been, and the youngest you'll ever be again. I, like so many of you, have been through so much, and yet there's so much more to learn and experience. So I'd like to thank all the alumni once again for their generous contributions and to help us fulfill our dreams and aspirations, and to help us find what we are looking for over that rainbow. Thank you.